Tsoureki.
Greek Tsoureki. So after my little lesson from Mina, we are going to be making a vegan Tsoureki now. So to get started, I have some soft, strong flour. So that's like a brioche flour, but if you can't find that, you can just use a bread flour. And to that, we're going to add our first portion of water and our yeast. I'm using fresh yeast today, and in this recipe there is quite a lot of yeast because we are using an egg replacer, so we do want to make sure that we have a lot of leavening power. So I'm just going to crumble this in to my water and flour mixture, and we're going to give that a good mix and set this aside for about 15 minutes to get started. So while our yeast and our flour is doing its work, we can start grinding up some of our spices. So we're using some really unique spices in our Greek Easter bread today, those being malepi or malep. And this is a very unique spice that you'll find in a lot of Greek cooking, especially in lots of sweets, but also in Turkish cuisine as well. And it has like a bitter almond or amaretto kind of flavor. It's very, very delicious. And it looks like these tiny little seeds. I'm going to add that to our spice grinder along with some mastika, which is the sap from a tree, which is also a very unique spice. It has a menthol or herbaceous kind of flavor. So we're going to add those two together along with a little bit of sugar just to help grind everything. All right, that's looking good. We're going to add that to our big bowl, along with our remaining sugar. I have some vanilla powder, or you can use vanilla extract. And the zest of a Greek orange, or any kind of orange that you can get. This one I was very lucky enough to get from my neighbour's garden. So now we've got our sugar and our zest, we can start preparing our vegan egg and our plant milk. So I've just put in here my second portion of water and my plant milk. I'm using soy milk today, but you can use any kind of plant milk. And then for our vegan egg replacer, we are using the panis egg. This is going to give us a lot of lift, a lot of rise to our dough, and also give the signature texture of a lot of those egg-based sweet pastries. And add with our sugar mixture. And to that we have the yeast mixture that we just made earlier, and you can see there's a lot of action happening. It's getting nice and bubbly. So we know our yeast is alive, so we can add that too. And our remaining flour. So if you had bought a whole kilo of flour, that's going to be whatever's left over in the bag, or 850 grams. And some salt. So we're going to get this onto our mixer on a very low speed until everything just starts coming together. So now our dough has just started coming together. I'm going to increase the speed to speed 2, and we're going to continue kneading this until we get a nice elastic dough. So we've had our dough mixing for quite a while, and you'll notice that it will become quite elastic. It will start coming away from the sides. So that is what we're looking for. So I like to grab just a little bit of my dough, and between your fingers, you should be able to spread it out and get a nice window pane without it breaking immediately. So that's how you know that it is ready for the next step. I'm gonna pop this on a low speed and slowly add our vegan margarine, which I've brought to room temperature, like a cube at a time. So our dough is beautiful and smooth now, and you can kind of see it's got like those little strings from the margarine that we've put in there. And very soft. Now I'm going to let my dough bench rest for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to transfer this into the fridge overnight. So cold proofing overnight in the fridge, and as you can see, it's puffed up nicely. So we're going to start scaling these now into 120 gram balls. I'm going to deflate our dough a little bit. Roll them all into balls. So we're going to set those aside to rest for about 20 minutes, just for that gluten to relax before we can do the final shaping. Rested, we're going to start making some of the shapes. So I'm going to take our ball and just flip it over. I'm going to deflate it a little bit, and then we're going to roll it up into a sausage and start rolling it out. And once you've got a nice sort of sausage that's about an inch thick, we're going to twist it in opposite directions and then pop it into a spiral and then just tuck that little end underneath. So that's one shape. And this one, going to twist it like so. So I have 6 left. I'm going to do 2 big ones. Have all of our shapes. We're going to proof these now until they're pretty much double in size before we put our vegan egg wash and bake them. So our Tsorekis have doubled in size. I've just taken them out of my proofer. Now I'm just going to brush them with a little bit of our vegan egg wash. And if you would like, you could also add some flaked almonds. Let's get these in the oven. So I've just pulled my Tsoreki out of the oven. So I'm just gonna pop these on some cooling racks now, just for them to fully cool down before we can enjoy these. Don't they look beautiful? Look at that amazing color.